All right, so for today's project, in the front, we got nice Fender liners, which normally come on dualies. In the back, it's an option, but most time they come with nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and put them on. So in the kit, if you buy it from GM, we've got the part number right there. And it's gonna come with 2 liners for each side, some little clips, the screws, 4 quad heads, and 2 Zerks with 2 zip ties. So I'll put it in and then show you guys kind of the finished product. But what you're looking for underneath your fender well, you're gonna have some spots with square holes. So you got one there, got one there, some up top, all the way around. These little Zerks are gonna get pushed right into these. You can see there's a little flat tab on each side. It's gonna get pushed in just like that into the hole. And then the screws will go right into that. Down at the bottom, you've got 3 screws on each of your little flaps. Those 3 will come out and the liner will go behind your mud flap, and then it goes behind the trim all the way. The little nubs go on these little studs right here. So there's 2 on each side, and then there's a little cap pops onto the center one. So it's pretty simple, straightforward. You've also got on the back side right here, you've got square and square. So you're gonna have some in those 3 holes in the back as well. So I'll get it put in. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Tools that you're gonna need is a T15 Torx head. And if you have a little angle drill, that's the easiest way to get it in there, but you can do it by hand with a ratchet. It's not hard. These do come with the little Zerks pre-fit on the sides that are gonna go where your mud flaps are. So you can see those bolts that are in the mud flaps, they're just gonna come out, and then this is what it's then gonna screw into on the back side of that, on all of those. So if you come back in and look in there, I don't know how good the light is. So there's little keepers on the back sides of those bolts. They're gonna come off, and then the liner is gonna take the place of that inside of there. In the top well of these, there's bolts where these line up on each other and they'll bolt together. So you'll have 4 of them. So let me get these put in, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the finished product. But all in all, it should be straightforward, pretty easy. All right, so a little piece of advice when you're taking these off back here. See if I can get some good light in there. So on the back side of that right in there, you're gonna need a little screwdriver or something to lift this little tab to get it out of there. And then once that's out, that's the part that you're removing. And then that clip on the fender is what's gonna take the place of that when it gets screwed on. So these little clips right here will be what's on the back side. All right, so when you guys get these parts up in here, the part that has the 3 little tabs where the 2 pieces go together, that is gonna go towards tabs towards the rear of the truck. So this piece is the front of the vehicle. So if you come out, that part will be the front half of what's going in. So the part where they seam together, where it has the tabs, goes to the front half of the wheel well. In between there, that's where you're gonna put the little grommet on the middle stud, just to kind of hold everything in there, and then everything else will go inside of the individual little spots that'll get lined up with where you put your tabs inside everything. So should have a tab, and then those 3 down there are what's gonna line up what I was telling you earlier with the 3 bolts that came from the factory. And then the little nub is gonna go on that guy right there, the little square hex nub. All right, so apologize about the lighting. Got a little dark out while I was doing it. So as you can see, once you get all those in, everything's gonna line up with all the holes. The little hex nuts will go along the seam. Everything's gonna get bolted in. In the center, you'll get the little flat disc, then another hex nut, and then along the back you'll have the 3 that bind it to the side, and then down 2 in the front, and then back in the front along the fenders as previously spoke about. So definitely a better look, cleans it up a little bit so it's not just raw ugly metal in there, and they're not actually that expensive, so for the money, well worth it, because then they match the front.